People underestimated the magnitude of this win. This is the biggest win in Australian sport since 2005. No doubt about it. Australian football is on its knees. And now with the Socceroos in the World Cup, let's get behind the boys. Let's get behind the A-League. Let's get behind football in this country and build it to what it should be. We shouldn't just be content with qualifying for the World Cup. Why can't we fucking win the thing? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Andrew Redmayne podcast. I'm your host, Aris Matakos, and I mean, do I have to? Do I have to explain? Do I have to do all the formalities? Do I have to do all that stuff? You can tell by the title, you can tell by the intro, you can tell by the unwavering smile on my face that will forever never go away until fuck, I don't know until when, but Australia have made the World Cup, and I'm so grateful that I'm saying that instead of being here and sulking and abusing Graham Arnold, which I might still do, but it's not the time and place. I hope you're all well. I hope, and for those listening overseas, if you want to listen to an Australian bloke almost cry about his nation making the World Cup, then this is your place. If not, then click off. You're gonna have next on Thursday or in 2 days' time, there'll be a podcast about the top 6 clubs and about some transfer stuff and about all the other stuff. But so yeah, if you want some European football chat, this isn't going to be the podcast for you. Tune in Thursday. There'll be a podcast surrounding all that good stuff. But let's just stay down under and let's stay here and let's just enjoy it, man. Oh my god. Oh my days. I don't even know where to start. It's currently 3:26 in the afternoon. I'm running off approximately 40 minutes sleep. So just to give a rundown of my morning, it was about 11 o'clock at night. That's about it was extreme. It was so for those overseas, it was a public holiday yesterday for us. So we all stayed home. The footy was on. It was good fun. And at about 7 o'clock at night, I started getting really nervous. Really, really, really nervous. And it was nerves beyond the point of kind of, oh, if we lose, it's alright. I'm just nervous about, because I want to win. It was nerves of, we cannot lose this game. And it was a toss-up. Do I go to bed? So the game started at 4 a.m. Australian time. So it was the debate in my head: do I go to bed? Do I stay up? I ended up staying up. I ended up watching 4 episodes of Tottenham the Amazon doco. What was it called? All or Nothing. Ended up watching 4 episodes of that. Fascinating viewing. Fascinating viewing if you haven't seen it. But to pass the time and to just take my mind off things, and I saw the lineup, and I saw it was Mitchell Duke and Carl Rouse and I kind of sunk into I was sitting face up, leaning up against my bed stand type thing, watching the doco, and I saw the lineup and I just kind of sunk into my bed and I thought, oh, he's not done it again, has he? He's not done it again. But I remained positive. I was hesitant to give any criticism because, like I said before, I don't care how we won the game. I just wanted to win it. And anyway, the game kicks off. I'm not going to... By the way, if you want tactical analysis, this isn't going to be the place. I can't be bothered with that shit. I mean, I've got the average positions here. What? As his page, he's playing as a centre midfielder. Great. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I just want to try, to be honest, I might do it at a later date. I might make a podcast about it. I don't know, or I might mention it at a later date. But this is not going to be the podcast if you want tactical analysis. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want to express my emotions and thoughts about this game. It was, yeah. So the game started. We played pretty well. I thought Peru were going to be a lot better than what they were, to be honest. And can I just say, in the broadcast, Andy Harper was raving about the Peru side in 2018, about how good they were. Am I the only one that remembers them being not that great? Like us having like dominating the game to an extent, and like having the lion's share of chances and could have won that game. But anyway, that's besides the point. Something I noticed. Yeah, so we started the game. We started alright. I didn't really have too much threats about them towards the start of the game. Then halftime comes. I'm thinking, alright, just please just get the job done. And then it was what happened. And then it was the second half, of course. That's how football works. Once again, similar game to the first half. It was very just nothing really happening until the last 10 minutes, which is indicative of the UAE game. Funnily enough, we started getting on top. Had a couple of chances. Aziz Beich nearly making himself a hero. Adrian Hustic nearly making himself a hero. None of them found the back of the net. And then it went to extra time, and I'm thinking, this is the life I've chosen. This is the life I've chosen. First half of extra time, I don't think anything really happened. Second half of extra time, I thought, here we fucking go. They had a couple of massive chances. They hit the post. They were really on top. They really were the better side in the second half of extra time, and it was just holding on for dear life. It goes to pens, and I don't think my heart could have sunk further into my chest when it went to penalties. However, when Martin Boyle misses the first pen, it goes to a depth. It goes to depths I didn't realise were there. Now, for those who don't know me as a person and me watching sport, which will be literally everyone other than my dad and my mum and my brother and my cousins, I'm very, very superstitious in a sense, which I don't like celebrating early. So, put it this way, I didn't celebrate the Hustic goal against UAE. Didn't celebrate it. Scored. I remained stone-faced. Because I don't want for it to bite me in the ass, and I don't want to get excited too early. So when Martin Boyle misses the penalty, I just remain stone-faced. I don't move a muscle. So at this stage, I'm lying down on my bed with my laptop on my floor, just lying down, looking over my bed, watching it. I don't move. And then they score, we score, they score, we score. They miss. Again, I don't move. We score, or we score, they score, we score, they score, whatever it was. And also, during one of the penalties, the coverage just cuts out. On 10 Play. I'm not sure if it was like that on actual Channel 10 or on Paramount or wherever else who was streaming it. But, and then, I think it might have been Mobile who scored the pen before they missed. It might have been. But he scored. And something came over me. And I just felt calm. When we were taking penalties, which was bizarre because Boyle had missed. Moy had rifled it into the back of the net. Goodwin had rifled it into the roof of the net, and it was kind of not calm penalties, just like good penalties. But I just felt this sense of calm, and it was, and then they stepped up for their pen. And then this happens. I'm still in a little bit of shock, to be honest. It was marvelous. It was, and he saves the pen. I run downstairs. I jump off my bed. I don't know how I didn't break my laptop, my head, my wall, the stairs, anything. I run downstairs as quick as I've ever run in my life. I hug my mum. I'm in borderline tears, and then it's just the outpouring of emotion. Really, like I said, I wasn't there to experience 05, and while this doesn't match, because while a lot of things won't be able to match to 2005 and the significance that those penalties held, this was certainly the closest thing to it. And this was certainly something which was on a knife's edge of being either a very memorable day for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons. Yeah, it was, and then just euphoria, utter euphoria. Seeing soccer Twitter go absolutely bananas. It was, it was something else. It was something else. I'm still struggling to put words to it. Which is why I kind of just wanted to get this podcast done, because I was like, all right, I just need to speak. If I start speaking about it, all my thoughts will process as one. But yeah, man, I mean, it was something else. And all the doubters, the critics, myself included in both those brackets, because I literally have a podcast titled on this channel, Why Australia Won't Make the World Cup. And that was in a place of Australian football which was on a knife's edge. And just to an extent, Australian football is still on its knees. It is it is borderline on one spot kick away. And it was just funny that the only non-Australian to take the penalty missed the penalty. I don't know. I just found that quite ironic. But Martin Boyle, if you saw his post-game interview after the game, he does not give a single shit about missing the penalty. I can tell you that for free. Yeah, Australia through to a fifth consecutive World Cup. Australia are there, and a lot of people will be saying, why do you care? Like, not why do you care, but you're not going to win games. You're not going to qualify for the next round. You're not going to win it. It's not about that. It's not about that. Yes, I want to win the World Cup. Yes, I think in my lifetime, I think Australia will win the World Cup. I'm only 18, so we've got some time. But it's not about that. It's about being there. It's about believing. It's about just being invested, because this squad hasn't allowed us to get invested in it for a long time. A lot of people have felt apathy towards this group, towards this coach, towards this regime. But last night, or this morning I should say, a group of blokes who have been almost discarded from Australian sport, a group of blokes that have been ridiculed, a group of blokes that have been criticised, a group of blokes that have been on the fringes, made themselves heroes. It's something special. Sport is special, and it does go beyond what we could have ever imagined. A lot of people said Australia needed to miss the World Cup. Australia needed a reset. And I was of that opinion for a while, I must admit. I was like, you know what, if we do miss out, which it looked like we were at multiple stages, I thought it might not be the worst thing in the world. It might not be the worst thing in the world, but seeing the scenes of everyone at 6:45 on a Tuesday morning, it validated all positive thoughts that I had. It was like they validated all the thoughts of, no, we need to make this World Cup. We need to make this World Cup. And we made it. And we're there. And it is so, so special to be proud of this country again. Because for the longest time, and we've been critical of Graham Arnold, we've been critical of this group. Football in Australia has been on its knees, partly because of this group. But like Graham Arnold said, the Aussie DNA, backs against the wall, chips are down. We picked ourselves up by the collar, and we dragged ourselves over the line. 13,000 Peru fans there. The Peruvians have the experience. Peru. If there was one slight concern in my mind heading into the game, was that I felt Peru, and I've mentioned this, and I have stolen this term off James Lawrence Alcott as well. They have the find a way. Peru, I felt, had that find a way when nothing's working. they just find a way to win. That was my one concern. So I thought we either need to kill the game early or get really lucky. And you can say penalties are luck, but when you've got not that, I don't care about that. When you've got this man in goal, and the poetry of it being Andrew Redmayne, perhaps the most ridiculed footballer in that squad. He came on and I was shitting myself. I thought he's just literally giving his mate a cap. That's my thought. Graham Arnold was just giving his mate a cap for no reason. I guess that proves why he's a football coach and I'm doing this podcast. It's oh man. Look at him. The grey wiggle. It's phenomenal, mate. I love this. I love this feeling. It's beyond special. It's beyond anything like I really could have thought it would be. Because I mean, this time maybe 8 days ago, I'm thinking, I don't think we'll even beat the UAE. Let alone Peru. Let alone the 22nd ranked team in the world. But, I mean, the Aussie DNA, huh? Perhaps the most tongue-in-cheek used phrase in the past week in Australia, the Aussie DNA. Without it, do we win on Tuesday morning? Probably not. With it, have we qualified for the World Cup? Yes. Do I want it in Qatar in November? Yes. I don't want to look too far ahead. I don't want to speak on what's next for this group just yet because, hey, it's not even 12 hours after the fact. I just want to enjoy it. While there is things wrong with this group, with the coach, with the regime, with a lot of things, now's not the time. I'll probably do a podcast next week, giving my thoughts on what should happen going forward for the Socceroos. But it's just beautiful scenes. Look at that man. It's almost not real. It almost didn't happen. In terms of we missed first. And in my mind, can I just say, when Martin Boyle misses first, all I'm thinking is a team that misses first in a shootout more often than not wins. It happened and when Craig Goodwin gets subbed on at the same time, I'm thinking, fuck, I don't want him taking a penalty. We've seen it happen before, Arnie. We've seen it happen before where players get subbed on and they miss penalties because they haven't touched the pill. Goodwin scored probably the best penalty of the bunch. Redmayne saved 2. I mean, did he tip it onto the post for the first one? Who gives a shit, to be honest? He definitely saved one of them. I can tell you that for free. Definitely saved one of them. I guess he got it right. You can speak about his substitutions. Aaron Moy looked like he couldn't run, and then he scored a brilliant penalty. Hrustic looked like he couldn't run, and then couldn't run, and then scored a beautifully taken penalty. Boyle was the energetic spark that we needed. Mabil provided something. Kyle Rouse and Bailey Wright, round of applause. Fuck me. Superb. And I've been their biggest critic. And if we miss out, and it is a game of margins, because if Andrew Redmayne doesn't get to that penalty, or if Craig Goodwin skies it over the crossbar or whatever, I'm probably looking at those two, at that centre half partnership and thinking, not good enough. But It's football. It's a game of margins, and they were superb this morning, absolutely superb. Matt Ryan, when called upon, did his job. I thought Aziz Beige played a fantastic game. Like I said, the only tactical bit I'm going to give you is that Aziz Beige was playing as a centre midfielder, so he just turned into João Cancelo all of a sudden. He did his bit, nearly scored a cracker. Jackson Irvine, another man, round of applause for that guy. Holy shit. There's just something about this group which okay, so so my brother just sent me this, and I might bring it up. I'll try and bring it up, but I'll try and stall while I bring it up. So this, like, I don't even know what I was speaking about. I will just bring up this image very quickly. Yeah, it was like I said, a game of margins. A game of margins, and a game which could have been decided by inches. I mean, Andrew Redmayne nearly got his hands to one before he saved the last penalty. Let me go to this. So you're just going to see a blank screen ever so briefly. But I just want to bring up... where's this image? This is the image. There we go. So, I mean, this is as B-Tech as you could get. But, so for those who aren't watching on YouTube and just listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, basically this guy was at the match, and he said that the Peru keeper had instructions written all over his water bottle for the penalties. And at the first chance Redmayne got, he threw the goal into the stand behind the goal. He threw the bottle into the stands. My fucking goalkeeper. Anyway, yeah, my brother just sent me that. I thought that was very potent and poignant to bring up. Yeah, it's a game of margins, and this is massive. This win's massive. This win, people are underestimating the magnitude of this win. For people who love the game, for people who study the game, for people who make a living out of this game in this country, Australia needed to make the World Cup. And I mean, speaking on a selfish perspective, November's going to be a good time, isn't it? November's going to be great. It was never going to be bad. But I couldn't watch Peru or the UAE be there, and that sinking feeling every time I watched them play, thinking that could have been us. And now it's over to Football Australia. We're there. Whether it was in spite of you or because of you, let's not have that conversation right now. That's a conversation for a later date. And this will lead on to a question which I'll answer I'll do a podcast next week talking about the future of Australian football and where we should go from here. And Jono from Inner Sanctum, if you're listening to this, I'll answer your question next week, don't worry. I just feel like I just need to speak about the game itself and what it means. Yeah, so yeah, it was such a November's going to be a good time. November is going to be one hell of a ride. And while I said I don't want to look forward, we've got France, Tunisia, Denmark. Why not? Let's go over there. And let's cause a shock. Why can't we? I mean, are Tunisia all that much better than Peru? I don't think so. Remember, Peru made the Copa America final not too long ago. Are Peru all that better than Denmark? They're not that much worse. France? I mean, France can't get any better than 2018, and we gave them a run for their money then. Why can't we? Why can't we go over there and do something and create something, and do something magical? And assuming we finish second in our group, I do believe we will then verse the winner of the group that features a certain England. I think we might. Don't quote me on that. But if we do, that'd be quite the shock, wouldn't it? I mean, I think we've only ever versed them once, and we all know what happened then. But this is not the time to look forward. This is the time to reminisce, and this is the time to look back on what has been a fucking unbelievable roller coaster of a week. If people underestimated the magnitude of this win. This is the biggest win in Australian sport since 2005. No doubt about it. Australian football is on its knees. And now with the Socceroos in the World Cup, let's get behind the boys. Let's get behind the A-League. Let's get behind football in this country and build it to what it should be. We shouldn't just be content with qualifying for the World Cup. Why can't we fucking win the thing? We've got to get behind these boys. Get behind the local football. Get behind everything relating with the round ball in this country. And we're going to be in good stead for the near future. Because the talent's there. We've got talent. We've got young talent. We just need to get behind them. And it starts from here. Get behind your local team. Get behind the A-League. Get behind football in this country. Start getting involved. And then the benefits of that will be felt up here. People underestimated the magnitude of this win. This is the biggest win in Australian sport since 2005. No doubt about it. Australian football is on its knees. And now with the Socceroos in the World Cup, let's get behind the boys. Let's get behind the A-League. Let's get behind football in this country and build it to what it should be. We shouldn't just be content with qualifying for the World Cup. Why can't we fucking win the thing? Now, I mean, it's like I said, it's over to the FFA or Football Australia or whatever the fuck they're called anymore. Oh, I feel like crying, man. There were tears. Oh, I'm not ashamed to admit it. There were tears. It was more relief than anything. It was more. Um, it was more just. I didn't think that this would be a reality I'd live in. And for it to eventuate from this man of all people, if you had told me in 2000, if you had told me in 2018 that Andrew Redmayne would save 2 penalties and Australia would be sent to the World Cup, I'd be like, all right. If you had told me 3 months ago that Andrew Redmayne would save 2 penalties and Australia would make the World Cup, I'd be like, you're joking. If you had told me in the 115th minute Andrew Redmayne would save 2 penalties and Australia would be going to the World Cup, I'd be like, you're watching the wrong game, buddy. But the fucking grey wiggle. I mean, I was very vocal on Twitter about the game and about a lot of things regarding the game. I thought Karacic should have been introduced a lot earlier. I had my opinions on Mitchell Duke, and for those who know my opinions, my proper opinions on Mitchell Duke, you know how much he frustrated me that game. But, I mean, do I care? No, I don't care anymore. We could have had 11 of me out there and still won. We could have had 11 of fucking Michael Mifsud and still won. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this isn't going to be a tactical breakdown. This isn't going to be a how did we beat Peru like I did with the UAE game. I can't be bothered with that. We're through to the World Cup. Ah, like I tweeted, this is probably the happiest I've ever been. I've seen Chelsea win the Champions League final. I've seen Chelsea win Premier Leagues. I've seen Greece qualify for this knockout stage of the World Cup in utterly bizarre circumstances in 2014. I've seen Australia win the Asian Cup, but there's something about this which doesn't compare to a lot of sporting moments I've had because of the uphill battle, because of the underdog status, because of everything around it. Because of the criticism, because of the journey that we've been on. It feels like I've aged. I've aged 5 years watching this Socceroos team over the past week. And I mean, it all could have been different. If that Peru guy, I can't remember whose header it was, but if that goes 3 yards to the left, I probably sit here very angry and very annoyed at Graham Arnold. And while I might still be that, I'll let my thoughts brew. I'll let my rationality take over rather than speaking on emotion, which I currently am. Because if you were to ask me right now, I'd say Graham Arnold needs to be given the job for a lifetime, and Mitchell Duke should start every game for the Socceroos ever again. Should start every game, I should say. But that's not me thinking rationally. That's not me thinking logically. Let me give it a rest. I'll be back on Thursday with some European football talk. So if you came for that and you've stayed for some reason, then you've got that to look forward to. I'll be back maybe this time next week. Or yeah, I'll be this time next week, give or take. Speaking about what we need to do from here. But for now, and I'm sorry if this has been I realise I am speaking quite quietly. I am speaking quite candidly because it sort of hasn't sunk in yet. I'm sort of waiting for the next international fixtures of Australia versus Vietnam and China or something. I'm just waiting for that, but nah. The next time these blokes will play a competitive game will be against France. That game. I'm telling you now. I think the schedule is France, Tunisia, Denmark. Which if you were to ask me to build my schedule for the World Cup group stage, that would be it. Get France while they're early. Get France while they're a little bit vulnerable. Get them while they still haven't settled into the tournament. Get them out of the way as well. Get the easiest game, or the locked-in 3 points, as I've called it, against Tunisia. Which is a must-win, can I just say. And then that means it'd be all to play for against Denmark. And we've seen now, when there's all to play for, there's something about this group. I think I said this when Australia versus Japan and Saudi Arabia. I said if Australia got a result against Japan in that first game, I'd back us to at least get something out of Saudi Arabia because we have that spirit, right? So that's why I go into this World Cup with slightly more confidence. Confidence. I really haven't seen Australia win a World Cup match. I mean, we won one. I mean, 06, I can't remember a thing. 2010, we won one against Serbia. We drew against Ghana, I think, and we beat Serbia. I think maybe Brett Holman scored in that game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. But I don't remember that. So I'm still yet to see us win a World Cup match. And we got Tunisia. Why can't we? Why can't we go? Why can't we do something? Why can't we shake up the world? This team, this group, and like I said, I was one of the very critical, I was a part of a group of people that were very critical of Graham Arnold, especially, and critical of this group, critical of the players. But I hope people know that I do that because I care so much. I'm like a disappointed father who's angry at their son. I'm not angry at you because I hate you. I'm angry at you because I know you can do a lot more than what you're doing. I'm angry at you because I know that you can perform way better than what you're actually performing at. So when I was I mean, maybe that's not true for Graham Arnold, but like I said, I'll speak about that at a later date. But I mean, I might just have this set up be the permanent fixture. I might get his face printed behind me. I might get it painted on the wall behind me. That is utterly bizarre. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember what I was speaking about. It will come to me. Don't worry. But yeah, I I know this group is capable. We have players who can play football. We have players who can play football really well. Really well. That we've proved that. I mean, Adrian Hustic is one of the most technically gifted players I've seen put on an Australia shirt. Aaron Moy, the bloke couldn't run, and yet he was still giving it 110%. Jackson Irvine, what a shift. Like I said, Kyle Rouse, Bailey Wright, I had my doubts over both of them. No Sainsbury. How's that going to fare? But they both stood up. Aziz Beige. Mate, if there's been an Australian footballer that's been criticised as much as anyone, it's been Aziz Beige. And he slotted into that inverted fullback role, or the João Cancelo role, or whoever the fuck you want to call it, perfectly and played phenomenally well. We're through. It's over. All the heartache, all the disappointment, all the struggle, all the angst is over. We're there, and we did it in the most Australian way possible. It was never going to be easy. Never going to be easy, because we do things the hard way, because we hate ourselves. Would I have it any other way? Yeah, I would. I would. I won't lie. I mean, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot easier if we'd just gone 3-0 up inside 20 minutes and won the game from there. But in the same vein, I wouldn't have it any other way, because this is our way. And our way, as much as it's frustrating at times, and as much as it's annoying and leaving you wanting more, it somehow gets the job done. And I can't quite believe it did. But here we are. Just bring him up one more time. What a man. He's got the perfectly, bald head to beard fade combination. And his beard is very boxed. Looks like a priest. Very boxed. That... fuck. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. That's all for this. That's all for this episode. I've rambled on enough about my love for the Australian national team at this current moment. I'll do a what next for Australia and what now probably next week, because I can't think rationally at the moment. I'm still thinking on emotion, and if it comes to me maybe over the weekend, I'll do it. But like I said, I'll be just 2 Foot Attacker podcast on Twitter. That's where you'll find everything regarding what I'm doing. But Thursday for Australian people, there will be a podcast. Top 6 clubs, who should they sign? That's going to be the main gist of the podcast, as well as some other European transfer news. We'll touch on Darwin Núñez, we'll touch on Tchouaméni, we'll touch on Erling Haaland, we'll touch on the whole bunch. Okay, thank you all very much for watching. It's been a ride, hasn't it? This has been probably the most enjoyable podcast I've ever had to do. But yes, thank you all very much for watching. See you guys next time on Thursday. And Australia are through to another World Cup. See you guys, bye.